welcome back to another episode of Cooking with Farmer Rick and Allie.
Hello everyone, I am Allie Babcock. I'm a registered dietitian with the Lifestyle Medicine team here at St. Joe's, and I'm here to give a little bit of nutrition knowledge to Farmer Rick's excellent cooking.
All right, so today we'll be making a couple salads for you, and you know it is kind of green season, so that's what kind of guided our ideas here. And we're going to start with a Greek salad. So we have some St. Joe's grown romaine lettuce. It's already been kind of trimmed. I took heads of romaine and cut the butt ends off. I gave it all the leaves a good wash. And now simply, I'm just gonna cut right through, rib and all. I like a fine chopped salad.
A bite size?
Yeah, I mean really, you know, sometimes you get these big leaves in there and it's just, maybe for some, it's not really for me.
We're gonna dump it in a bowl here, guys.
And you know, this is our version of a Greek salad. You see so many. If beets were in season, we'd probably have steamed beets, chopped them up, and also added them in here. But today we're going to be using simply some red bell pepper, some Kalamata olive, a little bit of red onion. We've got a tomato here. We're going to do some pumpkin seeds. And then we're going to just bring it together with a simple herbed lemon and olive oil dressing. And you know, like we always say, let your imagination be your guide. Do whatever your heart's content.
Chop and tail it. Take the top off. Take the bottom off so it stands upright and flat on your cutting board. And then if you want a really quick way to cut it, I just cut through one end. And then I'm gonna hold it like a pinwheel. And I'm just gonna go with my knife side, kind of span it out. And the inside's gonna come out perfectly. So you get those lovely strips like Farmer Rick has already cut for us.
We can get all those right in that bowl too.
Fantastic. You know, I feel like when you're having red bell peppers in season, or even if you're buying them in the wintertime and they're frozen, it's a really great thing to add, especially to leafy green salads, because bell peppers are really high in vitamin C.
Awesome.
And particularly red and green bell peppers are the highest. Above, say, like an orange or a citrus fruit, they have the most vitamin C of our plant foods. So we want to add those in to help really bring out iron in our leafy greens, but also help bolster our immune system, which, you know, after a long year of being locked indoors, might be a little bit under the weather. And you might be thinking about, as you go out inside and meet more people now, that you're catching a cold. Always want to think about bringing in that vitamin C to help it out a bit.
So we'll move on to the tomato. I cored my tomato here. You can use a little paring knife and just get that core out of there. And then I'm gonna cut through in these slices, just like that. And really when we're adding the tomato to the salad, you know, some people like wedges, some people like a small dice. I'm gonna go with a little bit of a dice, so we take some of those cross sections of tomato. And that's a good salad size.
Should we layer it with a little bit of feta cheese that we were gonna add? Feta cheese is really high in salt, and so we don't even have to add salt to the mix if we want to. And you want with your hands, just kind of open it up a bit, let out some of those flavors.
Nice. And then I'm going to put these tomato right in here.
Perfect. So all that salt and the tomato will mix together, and then you can do exactly what Farmer Rick said, add some herbs, a little bit extra flavor to the mix.
In fact, I'm going to chop up this dill right now.
Ooh.
You can get that right in there.
So speaking of other things that you should add to all of your dishes this summer, herbs and spices are definitely in my top 10. When we think about herbs and the power that they have for healing and for our body, all these different herbs, the more variety you can have, the better off you are, because each of them have different phytonutrients, the things that give plants color and flavor and smell. Everything has its own individual taste and own individual phytonutrient, and that really helps us to reduce inflammation in our body and reduce oxidation, two things that end up causing or enhancing disease. And so having these on board, it both provides flavor as well as really helps us when we're thinking about disease prevention.
That's nice, and you know, herbs too, it really, aside from the nutrition factor, from the culinary standpoint, really can take something very simple and elevate it. So if you think, I need to elevate my home cooking, if you simply just add fresh herbs, honestly, you'll probably end up being wowed by that quite tremendously.
Yeah, right here. We're just mixing her on up. Honestly, this looks beautiful by itself.
It really does. That honestly could be a salad in and of itself.
I often will add feta and watermelon together when that comes into season.
Yeah. So we've got these Kalamata olives, kind of bring a briny element to the salad. These have pits in them, so I was taking olives and just using my fingers and pressing them and getting the pit right out. So what I'm left with is just basically halved olives. Then I'm gonna go ahead and just give it a little bit more of a chop. We don't wanna really mince them down because we want them to have a little tooth in the salad, a little bite to it. So that's simply enough. Just a few rough chops across the way, and we'll get that right on in the bowl.
Perfect. It already looks beautiful. Look at all these colors. Whenever we think about eating a salad, I always like to tell people, especially when you're embracing summer and the new local fruits and vegetables that are coming, you want to eat the rainbow, right? So
yes.
Here we're already embracing greens and reds and purples, and
yes.
The blue-purple category kind of fits together. And so the more colors you can add on your plate, you don't even have to think about, am I getting all the nutrients I need? It's really just built in there for you.
That's great. That's a good way to think about it. Just knowing your colors and making sure they're all in your meals.
Exactly.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we always say, if you can count your colors, not your calories, you've done a really good job.
I like that a lot. So we're gonna make this very simple dressing, and really this will be something you can throw together in a pinch. I mean, it's very simple. So we're gonna take a lemon. We have this kind of fancy juicer here, and just give that a good, however you're doing it, really get this, and you'll see that there's really no meat left to that lemon.
So Rick, if you don't have a juicer at home, what could you use instead to really maximize your lemon fruit for juicing?
Sure. I always do, if you have like a little mesh strainer, just to give that a squeeze right over the salad itself, and that little strainer is going to catch all of those seeds.
Perfect.
Sometimes if I'm really in a pinch but still want a little lemon flavor, I'll just cut out a wedge, pop out any of the seeds I see, and give that wedge a nice squeeze over the salad.
Fantastic.
Yeah, we're going to add that. Add the lemon juice right to that mason jar. And then we can go ahead and fill that up with olive oil. All right, so we're gonna use this olive oil. And as you know, if you've seen a few of our videos, we don't really use recipes, we use feel. And so really a good way to remember this is 2 to 1 for a salad dressing. 2 parts oil, 1 part acid. So I'm gonna double up the amount that's already in there. It's just about right. So we're gonna take this, we're gonna add some fresh herbs. And Allie, if you could, can you salt and pepper that mixture? And I'm using fresh rosemary here. So one of the ways that's easy to get this off, just hold the rosemary stem by the tip, run your fingers right down, and it just peels those leaves right off that stem, because we don't really want the rosemary stem in there. It's very, very unpalatable. But I will give that a good chop up. We already have that dill in with the tomato. But I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with a little bit of thyme. And if you're really into dressing, you can use the whole thing. If you like a lightly dressed salad, please just use it until it really works for you and your family.
Should I add everything in?
Oh yeah, please add the tomatoes and feta with the dill.
Adding that on top here. Look how beautiful that looks.
It's gorgeous.
And then we'll do a little bit of the dressing.
And look at how nicely that dressing emulsified just by shaking it in the mason jar. It's really, you don't need the blender, you don't need the NutriBullet, you can do it with a mason jar. And some other variations too. If you really want to make this a full meal, have some chicken breasts, grill them off, slice them up, pound them out and roast them if you'd like. But get some good slices of chicken breast. You could lay those across a plate of Greek salad. If you prefer, toast up some pumpkin seeds, maybe also with a little bit of herb seasoning, and mix those right in.
Well, it looks delicious. I really want to eat it.
Yeah, me too.
Well, thanks so much for an awesome demonstration on the Greek salad, Rick. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, thanks for joining.
Mixing it out. We're seeing how it is. So good. Ooh, you get the dill and the herbs. It's very fresh and very summery.